Welcome back to the Barbecue Lab. My name is David Gafford, and today we're going to be unboxing and showing you the first look at the Ooni Koda 2 Pro. And it looks like we're in a different place. Well, it's kind of because we are. We're here in the backyard, and I'm going to have the camera come around here in a second and show you why, because things are crazy around here. Right now, we are having the house painted. We're in the middle of prepping for a catering job that we have here in the month of May. I'm just getting over a cold. Things are insane around here. But this new oven came in. It's time to get a look at it. So please pardon our mess. Welcome to the back of the backyard. Let's get to it. The Koda 2 Pro, let's see what is in the box. We have our manual and our assembly instructions on top.
Oh my goodness.
We've got a few stickers here, and depending on what language you speak, quite a few of them are covered. So if your kids like stickers, they are gonna love this part. All right, looks like the first piece that we found is the Ooni Connect digital temperature hub. All right, there's our screen that will tell us temperature. Cool. And there is the oven itself. So we're gonna go ahead and get this out. That's not too bad. I actually thought that would be a lot heavier, but it looks like I can probably lift this up and put it over here on the table. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I expected that to be a two-person job, but I was able to handle that, so cool. Underneath the oven, we have the two stones. This stone is cut in half, so it looks like we have two stones that make up the stone for this oven. And those are pretty heavy. Okay, as far as I can see, that is it for the box. So let's go ahead and get this thing assembled, see what it's made of. Currently the oven is sitting awkwardly on the table. That's because I haven't put any of the legs up, but let's go ahead and get those legs propped up. There's the two in the front. And in the back, we have one. So there we go, tripod design for the legs. That's sturdy. The only thing that's not sturdy is this plastic table, but this, sturdy. The first step is to take the battery panel off and then put the first battery in. And as you can see, it says that the positive is supposed to be up. So we'll go ahead and stick this in like so. There we go. It says next step is to put the stones in, so let's go for that. And on the right. Next step is to install the batteries. We're just going to take these two screws out and put these AA's in the back. Done. Next, we need to install this bracket, but that plastic does need to come off before you put that on. It's just two screws to put this little bracket on, and once you have that, the temperature sensor will attach right through this little hole. So pretty simplistic installation to get this Ooni going, and then we can fire it up. The last step, sticking this threaded screw through the hole in the bracket and putting the nut on the other side. That just gets finger tight, and that's good to go. To turn off and on the digital temperature display, there's a button on the bottom. This right here turns it on and allows you to see the temperature that's running in the oven. While we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things on this oven that you might be wondering about. First, let's talk about the width. The width of the stone at the front of the oven, according to my handy dandy tape measure, is 21 inches. So that's 21 inches on the width at the front. The back is a little bit more narrow, but that's 18 inches. You won't be able to see it, but all the way back there, 18 inches. We measured that when the stone was out. The height here at the front, from nothing all the way to the top, is right at about 5.5 inches or so. If you measure from the top down, it might be easier to see. There you go, like 5.5 inches. If you see right here, there is a glass deflector. This piece, the height on it, is 3.5 inches. So you have 3.5 inches of clearance underneath this piece that helps keep the heat in. Now this is removable, but if you want to help keep the heat in for pizzas and some of the things that are lower profile, that is an assist to help keep heat inside the oven since there is no front door. One of the questions we get asked from time to time is, what are the dimensions between the legs? What are these distances? If you say inside of the leg to inside of the leg, I've got like 20 and 3/4 inches, almost 21. From the back leg to the front leg, let's go with the inside to the inside, back to the front, I have 24.5 inches. So when you're thinking about putting it on a table, or you're thinking about trying to put it wherever it's going to land, those are the dimensions that you need to be able to have that kind of distance for these legs. The height of the oven is 15 inches if you go from the table to the very, very top. And the overall width from outside to outside, now it has a little bit of a bevel out. So I'm going to say that is the bevel out, and that is the bevel out. So we're looking right at 27 inches is what I would say the overall width of the oven. And for the depth, I'm going to say right around 25 inches is how deep this oven is. We're hooking the oven up to a liquid propane tank. We're going to open it up and let's fire this thing up and see what it looks like inside. The time has come to fire this dude up. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we can light the first fire in this. Here we go. So that's what the fire looks like when set to high. One of the things that's interesting about this oven is that there is a graduated flame from the back to the front. There's a taller flame in the front of the oven than there is in the back of the oven, which I find really interesting, and you can see that in this shot. Here's a closer shot of the left-hand side of the oven. You can see the flame towards the door is much taller and arcing over the top of the oven, and the flame towards the back is much shorter. It's really interesting that this is the new design that they've gone with, but it's saying that it's going to give you even heat with no cool zones. We're getting ready to test that here in just a few minutes with some different pizzas, but that is how this oven is designed, with a taller flame towards the door, shorter flame towards the back of the oven. It's also important to note that there are two burners on this oven. There's a burner on the left-hand side and a burner on the right-hand side, all controlled with one knob. This is the control knob. You can see that this is off. This is ignite and on. It's also set to high right now. But this is the single control that controls both the left burner and the right burner to be even at all times. We have had the uni heating up for the last 45 minutes. We let it cook off any manufacturing oils that might have been on it. But if you look, we have a measurement on the stone of about 520, which is actually pretty good for the pizza that we're getting ready to do. This is a par-baked gluten-free crust. We have a celiac in our household, and this is a par-baked crust that is completely gluten-free. And this oven has never had gluten in it, so we're gonna do our first pie as a gluten-free pizza. Let's go. We love pizza in our household, but ever since we've had a celiac diagnosis, it's been difficult to be able to do celiac pizzas in the same oven as all the others. One of the things I like about these unis is that they have the removable stones so that we can have a gluten side and a non-gluten side as a possible option. The hard thing is trying to scrub all the gluten out. They're still working on learning all things gluten-free, but love making gluten-free pizzas for the one in our family who needs them. Like that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the oven almost off to let it just finish with some ambient heat. All right, and there you have it, a gluten-free pizza on the new uni. For the next test, we are going to make a Detroit-style pizza. Melissa made this dough using the box mix from Uni, which I think you can find online. I'll leave a link down in the description. But it says to get the oven up to 600 degrees and then turn the flame all the way down to low and let this par bake. So that's what we've done. The oven is up to 600 degrees. We're gonna let this par bake in here for a little bit and get our crust ready to top. It's been about 90 seconds. The instructions say to go ahead and rotate this halfway through. So we're gonna take this and rotate it, but you can see nice puffing up there on that. But we'll rotate it and let it get a little bit more time. It says to par bake for 3 to 5 minutes. We're right around 4 minutes now. And this is what our crust is looking like. I think we're plenty par baked. I'll go ahead and set this on the resting pad here. But that looks par baked to me. I would say it's time to top that thing and let's make some pizza. First up is our cheese. And since we're looking at a Detroit style pizza, I want to make sure that I get the edges because it's those crispy edges that make these awesome. So we'll start with the edges, then work our way into the middle. Looking very nice. Now we have sauteed mushrooms. We're a family of lovers of mushrooms. We were really big fans. So I'll sprinkle those throughout. Spread them out. Let everybody have a mushroom bite or two. And last but not least, let's go with some pepperoni. And the way we like our Detroit pizzas is the sauce is last. And we just create a little bit of a line up and down here. Something like that. Melissa says that's good. So let's get this thing back on the oven. All right, Detroit style back in the oven. I'm excited about dinner. When you're talking about Detroit style pizzas, it says go on low or no flame. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the flame off since this has been running for quite a while. We'll just let the heat that's in there bake this pizza, and then we'll monitor it and see if we need to turn it back on to be able to make sure we don't give too much heat to the toppings before the crust is done. It's been 3 minutes with the heat turned off in the Ooni. There's how things are looking. We have bubbling around the edges. So plenty of heat going on. Let's go ahead and let that sit in there for another 3 minutes. It's been 3 more minutes. Here's what our Detroit style is looking like. Still have bubbling around the edges. Not a lot of browning on the top yet, so I think we're gonna go ahead and turn on the flame on low, and let's see if we can get a little bit more color on the top. Three more minutes has elapsed. There, we're starting to get a little bit of color. A lot more aggressive popping on the top. Yeah, it's looking great. I think we go another 3 minutes. Maybe we'll check it a little bit shorter time, but we are getting there for sure. All right, it's been 2 more minutes. I can hear the sizzling as you walk up. I mean, we are pretty much there. I'm gonna let Melissa, the camera person, make the decision. You wanna go a little bit longer or you wanna stay where we are?
1 more minute.
1 more minute it is, folks. It has been 1 more minute. We turned the heat up. What do you think, Mrs. Cameraman? Is that the one?
Looks great.
Perfect. This is our Detroit style pizza on the Ooni Koda 2 Pro. We have it released from the pan on all sides. There we go. Then you pull it out. And there you have your Detroit style pizza. All right, so that is it for this week because, well, honestly, the one thing that we did get done is the house got finished painting. We couldn't get any further in this oven in the time that we had. So obviously we'll be doing more testing on this Ooni oven. So let us know down in the comments below what tests you want to see us run, what pizzas you want to see us make, what cooks you want to see us do. We'd love for you to tell us what testing you want to see. So let us know down in the comments below. I'm David from the Barbecue Lab. Behind the camera is Melissa. We have a mess to clean up, but we will see you next week.